Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and with Spider-Man Brand New Day production underway, we've been learning so much from an official set video released by the studio, also some social media posts, and just other contextual rumors, with the last one of those being something we don't really know if we can trust, but we just definitely need to properly break all of this down in a video. So I'm gonna do that right here for you. Also, you may notice I am wearing what has been my favorite shirt released by nerdriot.shop this year, the Weyland-Yutani shirt that we're wearing in celebration of Alien Earth. I'm going to be wearing this all the time, though. You can grab one of these at nerdriot.shop, and it's the best way you can support what we're doing here at New Rockstars. Okay, at the start of this week, on August 11th, Sony and Marvel shared this video from what they're calling Day 1 on the set in Glasgow, showing Tom Holland in his Spider-Man suit for Brand New Day, with director Destin Daniel Cretton, and posing with various fans. In this video, we see part of the sequence of Peter landing on and riding this armored truck, him trying to pry open its hatch to stop whoever's driving it, maybe Frank Castle with some stolen inventory from the DODC. I theorized the Hulk suppressing Stark tech of the sonic frequency that the DODC would definitely have after confiscating all of the Stark drones at the beginning of Spider-Man No Way Home. But this promo ends with Tom Holland shouting this phrase after a take, followed by a mysterious laugh over the title.
For sake!
Now, I've had some of you reaching out to me asking if this chuckle could come from Mephisto. No, I don't think so. While there's currently a debate over whether Mr. Negative will be the actual villain of this film beyond Scorpion, or if it will be someone no one is currently associating with the film, I would just be surprised if a street-level Spider-Man story has a villain that supernatural. Yes, Mr. Negative has some insane powers that would look very cool and very fantastical on film, but he is at the end of the day a victim of drug testing, and even with his control over the light force and the dark force, there's always been just like a street level quality about the way he applies his powers, and Martin Lee's relationship with the community and with organized crime. Meanwhile, the wish fulfillment arc of Peter Parker's dealings with Mephisto in One More Day and One Moment in Time were already kind of covered by what Doctor Strange does in Spider-Man No Way Home. So if Mephisto is in the story, it would just have to be something completely different from all that. We also know from other set videos that they are currently doing some practical swinging in this movie, which has created some awesome imagery from the Glasgow area that makes it kind of feel like Spider-Man is actually real in our world, and I love that. And you might have seen some discourse on social media about how Jon Watts, director of the past 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man films, said, quote, "It doesn't look good when someone is just swinging on a rope. You think you're gonna go in there, you're like, we're gonna do it all practical, we're gonna get a stuntman, we're gonna be swinging around. It's boring. It looks dumb. It looks like a monkey swinging on a vine when you put someone on just a rope." And this quote didn't age well. This footage shows that there certainly are ways to make practical swinging work, but also we are gonna have to wait and see how this actually looks on film. In fairness to Jon Watts, it might have just been that he was limited by COVID protocols while shooting No Way Home in 2020 and 2021, something Tom Holland has also talked about in other interviews, saying now with Brand New Day, they have more options for how to shoot stuff. I'm just gonna say Jon Watts made 3 very, very successful Spider-Man movies that got really great reviews and I ultimately liked a lot. So I'm not gonna join in this weird bashing of the guy. But we cannot actually show the Day 1 clip with the full audio in this video because it does feature some copyrighted music composed by Michael Giacchino for 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, a specific track titled Arachnoverture, which is a hilarious bit of wordplay using the prefix of arachno and the word overture. It's a 10-minute suite of themes from throughout the film in which Giacchino deliberately incorporated leitmotifs and other elements to evoke the themes composed by Danny Elfman for the Sam Raimi trilogy films and James Horner and Hans Zimmer for the Mark Webb era films. In this new promo, you can hear the backing choir vocals that are uniquely evocative of the original Tobey Maguire era. You can hear but sampling Arachnoverture here also comes after Sony used the previous track on Giacchino's 2021 soundtrack, Peter Parker Picked a Perilously Precarious Profession, for the suit reveal video. So basically, we got the music that played over the final scene of No Way Home in which Peter wears his newly sewn suit that the script of the movie explicitly said he constructed inspired by his brothers from other universes, followed by the music that plays over the 2021 movie's credits. Now, does any of this mean that Brand New Day is going to feature the returns of those multiversal characters, or perhaps their kids? Could that crazy theory going around that Sadie Sink is playing a disguised version of Mayday Parker, Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker's daughter from that home universe? Could that be possibly true? I have no idea. I'm thinking not, based on how insistent Kevin Feige and the marketing team has been that this will be a street level story, and the fact that Frank Castle Punisher and Bruce Banner will be joining it. Apparently, August is craft beer season in Los Angeles. It feels like everywhere I go, there's some new delicious golden ale to try. I used to avoid having even one drink because I wouldn't want to be off my game the next day, but pre-alcohol from Z-Biotics lets me enjoy a drink without worrying about the morning after. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. To get some pre-alcohol of your own, just click the link in the description below to get 15% off your first order at checkout, plus free shipping. Z-Biotics offers a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Now, at this point in the video, I'm going to get into some set photos that you might consider to be a tad too spoilery. So spoiler warning before I continue, but I don't think these things revealed too much, and it doesn't seem like Sony or Marvel care that much that they're out there. But another thing Kevin Feige brought up in that July 17th interview was a mention of the Spider-Man comic book art that was pinned up around Destin Daniel Cretton's workspace. He wouldn't say which comic images, but only that he was super excited for the director to put those images on film. And since then, some behind-the-scenes images of the director's office have come out, and we can now see exactly which comic pages Kevin Feige was referring to. You can see 6 of them across the top there, above the calendar, and they all seem to be from the Brand New Day era, starting with the Amazing Spider-Man number 456 in 2008. In fact, the cover on the far right is a variant cover of that first issue of the Brand New Day era, this cover by artist Brian Hitch. It is awesome. Third from the right is the cover of the Amazing Spider-Man number 552, written by Bob Gale and Phil Jimenez. Yes, Bob Gale, the legendary screenwriter of Back to the Future, who also wrote a number of comics over the years, including many Spider-Man issues from this era. It actually seems like they're already in the process of creating that on film from this set photo. Also among the comic covers you can see is this comic panel where an NYPD cruiser rams a car into the water. Why Destin Daniel Cretton needs this moment pinned on his wall, I do not know, but it could be very awesome if he actually plans to shoot some version of this for the Brand New Day film. But perhaps even more important about this image of Destin Daniel Cretton's wall is the production schedule, indicated by the color-coded post-its. We cannot make out all the handwritten labels, but we were able to discern what the colors mean. Blue is for exterior shoots or location shoots off the lot. Pink is for interior shoots on a soundstage. These shoots are the ones where special super secret cameos would be most likely to show up, but they wouldn't be written on a board like this because Destin Daniel Cretton and Tom Holland would likely shoot them with the skeleton crew, and you wouldn't want everyone passing through the production office to be able to see. Even the call sheets distributed to the crew would probably use code names for cameos that big. And then post-it notes that are red, those are for rehearsal days. Purple is for prep days. Green is for rest days, and yellow is for travel days. But among the blue and pink post-its, we were able to determine that a montage of fights between Spider-Man and Scorpion will be shot in August. Also that there will be a fight involving DODC guards, and then there will be a prison fight filmed in October. Now for prison fight, I have to assume this will be how Scorpion Matt Gargan would get out of Rikers. Obviously Frank Castle is no stranger to prison fights, and hell, that guy might even seek them out, but our man is already out of prison, even freed from the cage that he was placed in by Mayor Wilson Fisk and his anti-vigilante task force goons at the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 1. But we do know that Matt Gargan is still in prison, and actor Michael Mando posted an Instagram story of himself in the makeup chair with the scars he had at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, looking especially fresh and especially gnarly, with a hint of added bruising around his cheekbones that looks like it could have come from a more recent riot in Gen Pop. And speaking of mysterious facial bruising, Tom Holland appeared in the Glasgow area shooting a scene in a cemetery at Aunt May's grave, and his face also looked particularly beat up, suggesting this is Peter after a fight, maybe even a scene from the final sequence of the movie. Zendaya was also spotted from this set, but it was confirmed that she was not shooting the scene as MJ, but was rather just hanging out on set to support her fiance. But we do for the first time get a full image of Aunt May's headstone, confirming her death year as 2024. The scene in Spider-Man No Way Home blocked her death year with some flowers, which seemed like an intentional placement to avoid having to commit the film, or at least this scene, to any specific point in the complex and often contradictory MCU timeline. Now the studio feels more confident about it. The events of No Way Home did take place in fall 2024. And speaking of set photos, the current eagerly sought image is of Sadie Sink on set. It's still unknown which character she's playing. I've speculated Carly Cooper based on the new female characters that are introduced during the Brand New Day comics era. Scooper Divinity Seeker is running with some pretty sus takes that she's playing someone named Carly of a different spelling, which is actually a double identity for someone with a closer relationship to Peter Parker, cough cough, Mayday Parker. Meanwhile, Christian Harloff claimed via the Real Screen Geek that Sadie Sink is playing Gwen Stacy, which several people are now running with, but as of right now, no official source has confirmed this, but just this claim has led to people scouring every set image for any woman with blonde hair, assuming it's Sadie Sink as Gwen Stacy. For example, this image. And in response to this commenter on X confirmed that this blonde woman is not Sadie Sink. She's just a member of the crew who appeared in the background of the Day One video carrying a radio. Also, when they were shooting these scenes in Glasgow, Sadie Sink wasn't even in the city of Glasgow, she was in London. But we did get this confirmation from actress Melanie Scrofano that she will be part of the cast of Spider-Man Brand New Day, posting, quote, "Sorry if my new movie interfered with your travel times," and she included a little spider emoji. You may have seen Melanie Scrofano on the show Letterkenny or on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Now, Gina, Ippolito, and I went through a lot of rumors that are currently circulated on social media about Spider-Man Brand New Day, and how some of them might have even been AI generated to be particularly viral rumors in this week's episode of the Rumor Rundown, so be sure to check that out. But one final rumor I will leave you with comes from Jeff Snyder. Jeff is claiming that Carrie Coon is playing a villain in this film. He didn't seem particularly confident in the rumor, but there you go. Carrie Coon played Proxima Midnight in Avengers Infinity War, but despite the character appearing in the background as a digital artifact in Avengers Endgame, Carrie Coon in the past year revealed that Marvel Studios refused to pay her a fair rate to return as a character in Avengers Endgame, so she backed out of the film. Carrie Coon is a busy enough and successful enough actress that I doubt she would be that eager to return to another Marvel production after that experience, but who knows? Hey, comment down below with your thoughts, and a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Frederick Price, who supports us at the executive producer level. Follow me at Erik Voss and subscribe to all channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.